In our last series of lectures, we looked at the Linux desktop, and I showed you that we can have multiple desktop environments installed simultaneously. Well, what we'll do in this series of lectures is actually look at how do we do that? How do we install software on a Linux computer? There's lots of different ways to do it. We'll primarily stay focused on the RPM, or Red Hat Package Management System. That's what CentOS uses, and that's what we'll be looking at in detail. But we'll also look at installing software from source code. We have no package management system. We'll look at it going right to the command line, installing it from source. And then we'll look at some of the options we have if we happen to be on a Debian-based system like Ubuntu. So we'll look at all of these, and I'll show you how easy it is to get this software installed and really build a system that you want. So let's get going. The first utility we'll be looking at for installing software is Yum, which stands for the Yellow Dog Update Modifier. It was developed by Duke University, and it's a front end for the RPM package manager, which we'll be talking about a little bit later on. It's a really great little utility, and it's the one you'll end up using the most if you work in a Red Hat-based Linux environment. It really does everything we need it to do, and it does it all at the command line. One of the big pluses for using Yum is that it helps resolve dependencies for us, which means if a package needs something else, some other piece of software, Yum goes out and finds that software and puts it all together for us. It's really very nice. But before we get into using Yum and installing software with Yum, I want to explain the concept of a repository. You're going to hear me use that term throughout this lecture and throughout the class, and it's something that you'll be exposed to in many ways when you use a Linux operating system. A repository is basically a place, whether it's local or remote, that holds software that I can install. Maybe there are updates to my system that I need, or maybe it's a package that I want that I don't have. So repositories can be on my computer, they can be on a server on my network, or they can be somewhere else far, far away from me. We do have repositories, and we can look at the repositories here right now, so we'll go into there. If we go into etc yum.repo.d and press enter, got the cd into it, and press enter, and I'll do ll here. These are the repos that have been defined for us on our system. Now, I will tell you that the only three that exist when you install CentOS are those three right there. The other ones you see, the RPM Forge and the Google repo, those were added by me during the creation of the class virtual server. Now, first repo right here, base repo, is just what it seems like. This is where the base software comes from. Updates will be given through there if we need updates. Software that we don't have installed, we can install from there. The debug info, that's just what it sounds like. It's some debug type of software packages. And then this one here, the media. Media means the ISO image or the DVD that we use to install CentOS with. Let's just quickly take a look at the CentOS. I'll do a less on Cent base. We'll take a look. Now, these are just text files, and as you can see, they point off to URLs that are out there, basic information about where we can find them. There are different ones available, so there are mirrors of this that will be used, but this is basically what's going on here. It's doing a little GPG check here for encryption. It checks this file for the key, the encryption key, and then we just have some mirror list and the base URL. Well, that will be. So we can modify this if we want to, and we will modify one of them, but not that one. What we'll do is we're going to go into the CentOS media repo. Now, this is interesting because right down here you can see there is no URL. It's pointing to a file, a local file. So inside the /media directory, where we normally have our VB share mount, it's looking for either a directory that specifies itself as CentOS, it could be CD-ROM, and it could be CD recorder. Now, this is interesting because if we try to do this, and we will, it'll fail. Why will it fail? Because the directory is not the same, and I'm going to just show you that. I'll bring up our VirtualBox. We'll go to Settings, Storage, click on the DVD, just like we were doing the install. Come over here, mount it, and say OK. We'll close this now, go back in here, and as you can see, it mounted the DVD image for me. Great. But what I want you to notice, I'm going to open up another terminal here, Shift-Control-T, and I'll SU into root while I'm here. And then I'm going to CD into media, and I'll do LL here. Here's our VB share, and here is the directory where the DVD is mounted. Now, click over here. We look at the three options we have. Well, none of these point to that directory. We have to actually either add a line or modify. And what we'll do is we'll modify one of them to make sure that it points to the exact same place. So what the problem is, just to be clear, it's looking for CentOS, but what we have is CentOS underscore 6.0 underscore final. And so we have to modify this file to do that. Because if I don't, it will not work, and I'll just show you that. Now, this is kind of a great little command we can use right here. This will disable all the other repos, so I only am installing software from my DVD, and sometimes we want to do that. This is a quick way just to disable all the other repos and only go from my DVD. So let me just copy that. I'll come over here, I'll CD, and I'll clear my screen, and then I'll paste that command in there. So once again, we're disabling all repos, and we're only enabling the DVD one. And we have to give a command. And that command I can use typically would be something like list. List all the packages in the repo. And it'll come back, and it'll give me an error message. And what is it? You can see right here. It says, I'm looking in CentOS, I'm looking in CD Recorder, I'm looking in CD-ROM, and I don't find anything. Because it doesn't exist. So let's modify that file and make it work. So I'll VI here, and once again, I'm going to type underscore 6.0 underscore final. Leave it alone. Escape, save, go back over here, up arrow. Oops, there it goes, up arrow, and press, and notice right off the bat we see something different. It actually has found the DVD, and it's looking for all the packages in there. And here you go. I have a package for this one right here, and we can install from here. Now, if we want to, we can also enable repos remotely. So I'll show you. There is, if you want to install the XFCE package, you will have to actually enable the EPL repo that's available. And what we can do is go into here. Go. Oops, let's go back up one more time here. What we'll do is we'll go into this one here. Actually, let's go here. This is where I want to be. And if we click on this right here, this new version, so what we're going to get is a RPM package that will install that will enable another repo for us. And so I'll click on this. And what I want is this package right here. So I'll click on that, download it. I'll say keep it. Close this. We'll do a CD into Etsy yum.repos again. We'll do an LL here so you can see what's there right now. Great. I'm going to CD into student's home directory because that's where it went to. There it is. I will use yum to install it. I'll say yum local install EPL. It's going to go through. It's asking me if I do want to install it. Once again, we'll go through these commands in a little bit. Now I will CD back into Etsy repo. Clear my screen, LL. And now we can see that we have more repos right here. Key with using repos or repositories is that you want to make sure that they're trustworthy. So the ones that I've had installed here, RPM Forge is definitely trustworthy. The Fedora repository is also very trustworthy, because you don't want to install packages from some place that you don't know, and you want to make sure your packages are good and clean. So we have repositories. We saw how we could mount the DVD, get packages off of that, and now we have another repo here which we'll use later on to install XFCE4. All right, next, in the next part of this, I'm actually going to dive into the yum command and we'll start using it.